I've never been a whiner, and I've always said what I thought was right, and that's the way I feel about things.
Malone won't back down, but then again, he doesn't have to.
May I remind you, we're not above fighting dirty.
Rudd once again beating D. Brown off the dribble. Karl Malone with the rebound. Larry Bird goes flying, and it's 28-22. You talked about Delaney Rudd being quick. He is showing the quickness. Remember, D. Brown, one of the quickest young guards in the league.
Well, I think that's why Jerry Sloan made the move to get Stockton out of there right now.
Malone and McHale mixing it up already in this game. Malone really pounding McHale on that entry pass. After McHale hit 4 in a row, Karl's starting to get tough with it.
It is that time of the year, I'll tell you. Every team knows, especially these two teams, know how important this game is. So you can expect it to be physical the whole night.
A wisely called timeout by Chris Ford of the Boston Celtics. 2 minutes, 31 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Jazz lead it by 6.
Outside jump shot. Now the foul was called before the shot right there, and you see what happens there. No punches thrown, but just both guys letting them know that I want this game as badly as you do.
Dick Bavetta's got his hands full there as he pushes Karl Malone away.
Stockton behind Malone. Stockton looking. Foul roll. Stop rolls. Cross court in the left corner. He's got Starks for a three-pointer. He won't go. Up and over the backcourt out of bounds. But Steve Nash pulls Karl Malone to the floor. He and Juwan Howard both right there. So the mailman who had the inside track.
This is going to be 5 fouls, I think, on Juwan Howard. I mean, he really hooks Karl Malone. Watch this. And throws Karl to the floor. Karl's trying to get the position, and there it is. He sends Karl Malone right down to the floor. 5 fouls now. 4 fouls, rather, on Juwan Howard.
Brought into Stockton. Stockton out front left.
Watch the byplay here between Malone and Rodman. A sign of respect, actually, it appeared to me.
Anderson for 3 from Russell. Oh, that hurts.
Look at this. If you're going to get tied up with the big fella, you better come with your strength.
The call.
Well, it looks like Weber's trying to hold him down and Karl's trying to throw him off. I don't think there was...
Worthy clears. Breaking is Scott and Cooper. Here's Scott. And he's taken down by Malone.
Don't worry about it. Byron, just go to the foul line. Don't say anything to Mr. Malone.
He's a tough kid. He grew up not far from the Forum. It wasn't an easy place to grow up.
Backup for John Stockton throughout the series as Karl Malone is fouled by Rambis and Chambers. And Malone and Rambis having words. One thing Cotton Fitzsimmons says he likes about Kurt Rambis is that he willingly gives his body up.
Well, part of that philosophy is make the Phoenix Suns spend energy moving their feet on defense rather than offense.
And Joe Crawford signals an offensive foul on Karl Malone, and we've also got a timeout.
Karl Malone out again. And Malone inside for an easy 2. And then he gives a little bump to Bradley right on the floor.
That's not Karl Malone's bump. That's Sean Bradley's bump. Karl Malone finished. Been far too much whining, not only in this series, but throughout the playoffs.
About the officiating. Stop talking with the refs as we have our first illegal defense.
The last game between these two teams featured 91 free throws. Karl Malone up in the passing lane, a wild cross-court errant pass by Nowitzki. Karl Malone finishes, and then when he turns around to run back up the court, Sean Bradley runs right into him.
In this one. Bradley goes down hard as he tried to deny Marshall. Malone strong, and Bradley with a hard foul, and Malone gets hit in the face, a flagrant foul.
There's no place whatsoever. Jerry Sloan up off the bench.
Let's see if they call it a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2.
They've already called it a flagrant.
A flagrant 2, and he would be ejected. Danny Crawford going over. Malone shaken up, and it takes a lot to knock him down. So Bradley with 3 personals. And apparently it's a flagrant one. It is loud here at Reunion Arena. The physical play continues. The Jazz by 2. There have been a lot of hard fouls in the first 2 games of this series, but perhaps none harder than Sean Bradley's foul on Karl Malone right here.
Inexcusable play by Sean Bradley. Karl Malone loves to finish and drive left. Sean Bradley just comes and makes no attempt whatsoever on the ball. He just comes and hits the guy in the face. Don Nelson does the world of basketball a favor by taking Sean Bradley out of the game.
And Bill, he's lucky. That could easily have been a flagrant 2, which is an automatic ejection. So Malone will shoot 2 free throws, and the Jazz will take it out of bounds.
But Sean Bradley has been playing pretty decent basketball for the Dallas Mavericks of late. And with a team that has gotten nothing out of its bench, in fact, Don Nelson telling us that he doesn't even have a bench at this point. He's costing his team, Sean Bradley, a chance to win a playoff game. There's won a playoff game.
There's a way to Sean Bradley with this flagrant foul against Karl Malone a little bit earlier. There's been accusations of flopping in this series in addition to all the hard fouls, and that's something that was discussed with the officiating crew after this latest flagrant.
We had him flop a couple times with that serious stuff there. And you know what? Be aware of retaliation. And let's work hard, man, okay?
That's Danny Crawford doing the talking in his 17th year, one of the premier officials and the crew chief of this one.
You get so focused in on helping your team, making whatever. This is the perfect situation for Danny Manning to excel in. He'll look back on his career and say, why did it take me so long to get to the Utah Jazz?
A technical foul has been called on Juwan Howard after the personal foul. Howard kind of held on to Malone's jersey. Malone talking to Howard now. Well, there's Stockton trying to keep Malone away from the officials, or from Howard, more importantly.
There's been so much animosity that has been built up. It's carried over from the ownership and management levels to Nelson and Jerry Sloan. And now with the play clearly over, and Juwan Howard just continues. Inexcusable for a player of
Over to Ballard behind him, stolen by Malone. Game is over. 2-1. Utah wins. And now Ballard and Malone get into it. Malone and Ballard get into it, and everybody runs across the court. We have a little bit of a fisticuff situation here as Ballard threw the ball to Malone as the game was already over. Malone threw his elbow back at Ballard as he walked off the court, and now we have an ugly scene. And the fans are up on the court. The police come out, and the frustration of it. Okay, now they're tied up right there. The game is over. Malone pushes off at Ballard, throws the ball at Ballard. Ballard catches it and throws it back at Malone, and then we got into it. Now, Greg Ballard tied up Malone when the game was...
Che coinvolge lui e Malone, uomo in difesa e per terra, fatte 3 volte consecutive.
E se va a terra Duncan, qualcosa deve essere successo. Malone prende questa gran cosa, ha fatto il difensore, intanto in precedenza, ecco il contatto, e si è alzato il gomito veramente come...
The Suns were not as bright in Salt Lake City, with Karl the Mailman Malone looking a first-class package.
Drexler back. Corbin misses the layup. Brown blocked by Williams. And a jump ball. And that's been another story. The Blazers' ability to block close-in shots all night. They've had 8 or 9.
An aggressive, swarming defense just coming through for the Portland Trail Blazers. Mike Brown had a layup out of nowhere. I think it was either Cliff Robinson or Curry coming to block it. Here it is here.
Well, you see them tie up right at the end. Mike Brown comes in and they rip the ball away. They'll get a jump
right next to him.
Malone and Gahidi go down strong.
And they call it on Karl Malone.
Second on Karl Malone. Timeout, Utah. .253 to go, third quarter.
Malone, vaya balón ahora de Hornacek. Hornacek da asistencia para Karl Malone. Hey, no ha entrado y canasta. Ahora sí, canasta.
Está protestando 30.000 1 puntos. Protesta y le ha caído técnica, creo.
Técnica, madre mía.
Vaya manera de celebrarlo.
No podía ser de otra manera. Un miembro distinguido del club de los Cicuta.
Llega a los 30.000 puntos y le pitan técnica.
Ahí estamos, Malone.
Ni se ha anunciado.
Ni se ha anunciado.
Por
Rebound knocked down. Carl's got it. The mailman got slapped in the eye. We got a timeout. 20 seconds. Hopefully he's all right.
And David Robinson was the one that hit Karl Malone in the face. Karl Malone is on the floor, and I tell you, the way he's moving his legs, it just might be David Robinson right here. Boy, he just reaches like he wants to punch the basketball, and his finger went straight into Karl Malone's eye.
Sparky, the Jazz trainer, out working over him.
For the Utah Jazz, or rather I should say 10-point advantage for the Utah Jazz, their largest lead, and Karl Malone with 27 points. This is Pau Gasol trying to make a quick move. He stripped to the basketball. And a foul as Gasol and Malone shoves Gasol away a little bit. And that's a foul on Pau Gasol. And now Hubie Brown is looking over at Rodney Mott and Sean Corbin.
Hubie Brown, he wants one call tonight on Utah stripping the basketball. Believe me, they have not been that successful all night when they haven't touched the Grizzlies not one time.
There's Malone, 29 points. 12-point advantage for Utah, and Hubie Brown wants a timeout right now, just possibly not there. Malone fading away, shot doesn't go. Earl Watson, opportunity to run. Earl Watson ahead to Pau Gasol, and he gets hammered. And a flagrant foul is going to be called on Karl Malone, and now Pau Gasol and Malone, and Pau goes back toward Malone, and Lorenzen Wright is standing in there. And this is something that we saw on Monday night, and I don't think Pau Gasol has done anything wrong in turning and having a few words with Karl Malone. Remember when Murphy took him down hard?
I think he has done what he should do, and that's let Karl Malone know that he's not intimidated by him. Karl Malone makes the hard foul, very hard foul, but Pau Gasol, he walks right up to him and says, "I'm still here."
And Malone now upset with Hugh Hollins, and Lorenzen Wright stood by Pau's side, which is certainly something that you like to see, and Pau misses the technical. He'll shoot two, and Malone walks over toward Pau Gasol, and Phil Johnson looks at Karl Malone and says, "Just back off." The second, Pau's rabbit can't get either.
Karl Malone is trying to get in Pau Gasol's head. Missed a couple, gotten good shots, good looks at the basket.
Malone throws it up and in. He has 31 points, and Malone turns toward Rodney Mott, and he wanted a call, and he doesn't get it. How about Karl Malone? 14-21. We talked about him at the top of the program, about what he's done since the All-Star snub, and now John Stockton gets called for the foul. And both teams don't like the way that this one's being called. And Karl Malone heads over to Mott. Stockton heads back over to Sean Corbin. The only one left to have a conversation with is Hugh Hollins.
Well, you can say Karl Malone, he definitely threw that one up. And I didn't see a foul. Lorenzen Wright played good defense, had his arm straight up in the air, made Karl Malone shoot the basketball over him. Karl Malone makes a difficult shot.
Watson makes the first free throw. The Memphis Grizzlies tonight, 14-22. They have not been sharp from the free throw line. A team that is 19th in the NBA in free throw shooting.
Lanzamiento de Jordan, ahí peleando la cruela de Milton y Rodman. Rodman encima. Y al final,
los dos al suelo. Falta doble.
Falta de Malone, yo creo.
Están hablando los árbitros. Volvió a hacer lo mismo Rodman.
Sí. Él lo obstaculiza ahí. El saque, yo creo que es falta de Malone, ¿no? No sé cómo has visto tú la jugada.
Bueno,
vamos
vuelve a poner la cara adelante, entonces impide que se mueva el codo Malone. Yo creo que van a señalar falta doble.
Vamos a ver ahí. Ahí,
sí, ahí se va cerca.
Él está encima ahí, encima.
Sí. Y ahí la aparta Malone.
Está Malone, no veo ahí falta. Vamos, tengo la sensación.
No. Justamente debería ser falta de Malone. Vuelven a hablar los árbitros.
Bueno, yo no sé cómo Malone pierde ahí los papeles.
Bueno, pues porque ya se ha cansado, porque era la tercera o cuarta vez que lo hacía Rodman, que dedica ese beso al público, es la quinta.
Vaya crack. Pues se lo ha enseñado a Malone. Digo.
And Karl Malone shipped a nasty blow over to the Admiral. That'll cost him $5,000 and a few lost friends.
Karl Malone did it to Marley, and then watch Perry, who got laid out, unconscious. Karl Malone throws the wickedest elbows in the NBA, and Perry never knew what hit him. 10-minute delay where they tried to bring him back to this world, knocked unconscious, overnight observation. He was carried off the court. He is right now in a Utah hospital. Kevin Johnson already out with sore ribs and a sprained knee.
You might remember that Karl Malone was fined $10,000 and handed a one-game suspension for his foul against Isaiah Thomas. Some in the league called it just a typical NBA hard foul. Some are also calling it a big discrepancy in fines from the league office when you fine a guy $10,000 and suspend him one game for that type of foul, and when you fine person $7,500 for a premeditated move.
The playground toughness of their captain Isaiah Thomas.
We can use this reputation in two ways. Either we can use it to our advantage, or it's going to hinder us severely. Lambeer said, okay, we'll be like the Oakland Raiders. You know, the old Oakland Raiders.
We get after it, you know. We're good friends and we can resolve things after it's over, but when we play just pickup games, one-on-one, you know, we draw blood.
With the pleasantries on hold, nothing is sacred.
When we throw the ball up, hey, I don't know you, you don't know me. You come inside, I'm gonna slam you, he gonna slam me. I'm gonna take the shot, he gonna take the shot. And I'm gonna try to kill him, he gonna try to kill me, and I love it.
Get a bucket!
Friends forever, but adversaries for 48 minutes. For once the battle lines are drawn, the will to win is all that matters.
We're all pretty emotional. You know, we give and take and we feed off each other.
I wanted to show you, we know two guys out here on this court are best of friends, Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas, but Isaiah gets knocked down by Scott, and look who he pushes, his best buddy.
They're friends before and after, not during. Thomas hit by Magic Johnson.
And Magic went after him there with a forearm. That was a bad play by Magic Johnson.
And Lambeer wanted to protect Isaiah Thomas.
He got banged a few times, and now he's looking to get some. There he is. He just sticks an arm right in there.
32, Magic Johnson.
And bells Isaiah.
5 fouls on Magic Johnson. Wants a timeout. The crowd loves what they see. I guess this is Pistons basketball, huh?
And the Lakers don't mind playing it either.
I don't think there's any question.
Now there's Magic whacking Isaiah right in the jaw. I don't understand that. And I know it was physical at the other end for Magic Johnson, but I think the officials have to get control of this game right here and now.
Points up to a 4-point Pacer lead. 10 points, 10 rebounds for Detlef Schrempf. And words being exchanged between Michael Williams and his former teammate Isaiah Thomas as a timeout is called here. Peace being restored by the officials.
Well, Isaiah gave Michael Williams a little forearm to the mouth that time. A flagrant foul, I think, has been called on Isaiah.
They're trying to cool down Michael Williams. Chuck Daly over at the scorer's table, questioning Danny Crawford about the call. Danny Crawford explaining the call to Chuck Daly. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, you'll see it right here. Now, there's the forearm to the lip.
Right there.
And Williams comes back at him. I mean, you just can't take that. There's no way you can allow that to go.
So the flagrant foul call against Isaiah Thomas is his 4th. And this could really hurt Detroit. Indiana's just opened up a 4-point lead. Now we're going to get a situation where Indiana will get a chance to extend that lead. Don't forget, coming up next after tonight's.
They wanted to stop this Pacer run. Now we'll take another look at it right here. You'll see Isaiah, he turns around and he tries to hold Williams off, but gets him right in the face with the forearm.
And you saw Danny Crawford right on top of the play.
He's right there.
It's not a bad spot, or not a good spot to try to get away with a move like that when that official's only about 3 feet away from him.
Well, I think Isaiah thought Michael Williams was going to make a stronger effort to try to knock the ball away before he had a chance to call the timeout.
Going to the line. Well, they tried a little trade-off there. They thought it was a technical foul, and Reggie Miller was going to try to sneak in there and shoot the free throws. Say the officials. That's Michael Williams that was fouled. He's the one that needs to go to the line and shoot.
Tell you what, if you look at the percentages so far this season, that's not a bad deal having Williams up on the free throw line. He's shooting it at 88%, where Williams, although he led the NBA last season in free throw percentage, coming into this game at 85.8%. Chuck Person, I think that is, getting treated over on the bench.
Williams makes 1 of 2. He has missed 3 from the line tonight. Very unusual.
I didn't see what happened to Person, but
I didn't either.
They have him laid out over on the bench. I think he might just have gotten dizzy, and they helped him over to the bench.
Pacers are up by 5 now. We'll try to get word on what is the problem over there with Chuck Person. In trouble. That is his 5th.
I mean, nothing happened. Person was just standing around trying to see what was going on, and all of a sudden it's like he started to black out. They caught him before he hit the floor, and they just helped him over to the bench. He's having a big game. You see right there, 21 and 5. Pretty impressive numbers.
This is the flu season. You wonder if maybe a little.
The Knicks with an enormous percentage in the 4th quarter to regain the game. Mason misses, gets his own rebound, and gets fouled and exchanges words with Isaiah Thomas, who thought about throwing the ball.
He has a lot to hold himself back. Isaiah's bursting. He wants to go at Mason. And he's coming. He continues to come. Mason has a shield of Knicks around him. And Isaiah will not let up.
Little playoff carryover, perhaps.
And Ron Rothstein, knowing the competitive fire of Isaiah, is right out there to contain him. Now it's turned into smiles.
Both coaches on the floor.
Rodman tough. Denies that shot attempt by Mason. Mason, however, with his strength, because then he gets that rebound, and he's missized, and then gives Isaiah a mouthful.
Well, John, how about Mason winning that battle with Rodman in position to grab the rebound?
Tremendous strength of Anthony Mason made it happen.
Well, you remember what made the Bad Boys famous a few years ago. And Mason fails to seize the moment. 35.5 seconds to go. Starks with a word of encouragement for Mason, his bench mate. And the Knicks lead 92.
Now watch this. Thompson comes down with a rebound, and watch Isaiah with the flurries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's thrown out of the game. He's ejected. And this rivalry, folks, is definitely certified.
Isaiah in the eye, and Isaiah wants a piece of Cartwright, but late. That's why. Yeah, he got him a good one. Here. Looks like it's right in the corner of the eye, doesn't it?
Well, he came down, and you see he caught the elbow right there. Now he realizes that he's cut. And that's when he goes a little crazy.
He missed 32 games after surgery to repair torn ligaments in his wrist. There was doubt as to whether he would be back this season, but he is back, and he had this message for his fans.
One day, when you're not playing this game anymore, you don't want to ever have to look back and say, man, I wish I would have played that day when I could have played. So I don't want to cheat myself, and I understand your concern. You don't want me to push it or go too far, but
being an athlete, you have to get right on the edge, and you got to push it to the limit, or you'll never get as good as you can be.
Dr. Kirk Watson, who performed the surgery in January, had warned against an early return for Zeke, but today gave him the go-ahead.
I think he understands the situation well. I think he knows how bad I want to play. And he was willing to take some risk and some gambles in terms of releasing me early, and with the understanding that I'm willing to take those risks and gambles. And like I said, if I screw it up, I just go get it done again, and if it's career-ending, then the career's over.
Thomas is hurt down on the court underneath the basket. I couldn't tell what happened.
And this is a tough one. Holding his right ankle, Billy. Mike Abdenauer, the trainer, is with him, and the Pistons are going to have to call a timeout because Isaiah started to get up. He got up and then went down on the floor.
That Isaiah's coming back in the ball game.
It's been the Isaiah Thomas show, plus an
We would walk out on the floor, and no matter who we were playing, no matter what the circumstances would be, we knew we were going to win the basketball game.
Jump ball, tip to Isaiah, superstar up the par, all around player. Fake the pass, give it the gas. Finger roll, counter for two. How does he do it? Only God knows. Benny Johnson, the microwave. Heats up the chain, you burn you for days. Lambeer with a money back guarantee. A killer in the paint, hitman the three. The spider, the glider, foul for the slam. Stop him with the shot clock, knock it to the next man. Do more, dropping the bomb. Star Wars, a three-pointer long. A quad on fire, rhyming on D. It was in the center, throwing down for me with a slam dunk. You know you can't touch this back to back. You're about to get dusted.
We were invincible. Nobody could beat us. We had a certain air about ourselves that if we went out and everybody played to their fullest, nobody could beat us.
The Pistons are smoking now.
Out of bounds, Detroit has it. Isaiah is not going to give him his hand because Oakley gave him a little bump.
The last time they met, they had a fight. It was Sidney Green of the Knicks in the dark uniforms, Isaiah Thomas of the Pistons, and then everyone got involved. The bench-clearing brawl, there were fines.
Isaiah's number is up in the Palace rafters. Zeke returns to his old stomping grounds as 11 becomes a number for all time. Keep it right here. Back 1990 NBA Finals, Portland and Detroit, perhaps Isaiah Thomas's all-time greatest individual achievement. Zeke voted MVP of the Pistons' 4-1 Finals win over the Blazers. And he loved that trophy. Thomas ended his Detroit career the Pistons' leader in points scored, assists, and steals. And that kind of impact and career in a city will lift a player to legendary status. And Saturday night, returning with the Raptors as their vice president, Isaiah saw his number 11 raised to the rafters and retired at the Palace.
Oh, Isaiah just threw a
took
punch.
A swing, and Isaiah's history.
He's gone.
Isaiah took a swipe at Mahorn, and Mahorn just stood his ground, didn't even blink. And Isaiah's gone.
Take a look. Here comes the punch.
Missed him.
I'll tell you what, that was tremendous control by Rick Mahorn. Not to throw a punch back, because all of a sudden that would have...
Nice guys finish last. You know, sometimes the villain wins, and hey, it's kind of fun being a villain.
Bill Lambier and Rick Mahorn.
There was a saying that we used to have called tap tap. When you say tap tap, that means no layups.
Watch the drive. Mahorn just gives him a shove and knocks him out of the way. I don't like that play.
And there are no touch fouls at all by these two guys.
Rebound Jordan.
And all of a sudden you got Oakley coming through.
And Mahorn took Jordan down. And now the Bulls, of course, retaliate. Both teams are involved.
The other half of the meanest duo in pro basketball was Rick Mahorn. His bone-jarring picks and menacing presence in the paint gave opponents second thoughts about taking the ball to the hole. He and Bill Lambier were the true inspiration behind the Bad Boys.
Dennis Johnson leans in. And Bird fighting, and it's still Celtics ball. Larry Bird plays every game as if the next shot will win it.
It's like it's his last game. That's how hard he plays. Here's Mahorn, just nudges him off the court. No whistle. And it appeared that they had the game plan in mind for the first couple of games, and even talking to some of the people in the coaching staff, I wasn't quite sure that they had a definite plan in mind how to beat Boston.
Traveling call against Mahorn. And not happy about it.
Well, here's Mahorn, takes it strong to the hoop, and Day just sneaks inside, and when there is one fight, everybody else is looking for retaliation, and they start to become a little paranoid. They really get it down close.
Mahorn misses the inside shot, and the Celtics with Ames pushing it up, goes the distance, blocked by Rodman, and a 4-on-2 for Detroit. And Mahorn and Day. And Ron Rothstein and Dick Versace, Chuck Daly's assistants, have to get Mahorn away from Day, who commits the foul. And the cheerleader, Rodman, you better not be too premature with the number one.
Let's watch what happens here as Mahorn takes it and just walks up, and Day just gave him a push, which was really not deserved, I don't think. I don't know where that came from. And Mahorn reacts.
Well, it was Day. Right there, 5 fouls on Darren Day on the personal.
Out of bounds? Yeah, but it's before the throw-in, the fight. You know, we don't get 2 shots on that play. That's the same play you had in Cleveland.
One shot and give it back to him.
Technical foul.
And I heard the word technical foul.
Malone penetrates and he's fouled. And Malone pushes Mahorn, so here we go. Tempers start to get a little bit high and tense right early.
But Tim, he did the smart thing. He pushed, and then he backed up rapidly. he didn't stay in the heat. And Jeff is just a smart guy.
Yeah, Malone.
You'll see. And here's where it was a case. It's a case where Jeff Malone was out of control, but did the smart thing, threw up the shot. And after he pushed off, he backed out of there about 20 feet away, which is a smart move.
No question about it in the replay, though. The Malone did throw an elbow.
Well, you know, it was a soft one.
Hidden ball trick. It's Charles Barkley's imitation of Rick Mahorn. The Sixers were loose in practice, but come game time, they were all business as Mahorn has a friendly chat with Milwaukee's Frank Winkowski.
Barkley takes the three. He'll say it was a pass to Mahorn who draws the foul.
Oh, look out. Look out.
Brokowski and Mahorn.
Yeah, Mahorn thought that Brokowski hit him. He's not the guy who hit him. The guy who hit him was Robertson.
Exactly.
You see, he didn't know it because it came on them. Now it's going to be interesting here because who they're going to throw out or give a technical to or what.
but all of the contact happened. The contact happened with Robertson coming over Mahorn.
I didn't notice Robertson jumping in there and trying to take on Wick, however.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Robertson is a tough customer. Good story about him down at Arkansas is that he used to wrestle all the interior linemen at nighttime and hold his own and pin the majority of these guys. Now that's hearsay from a real reliable source, Scott Hastings. Scott, now here's
That's
your
reliable.
Now watch coming right over the top. Now you see, he gets hit right there by two guys. I didn't see.
Brokowski got in.
So Robertson got him also. Robertson gets him first. Brokowski gets him over. So naturally, when he turns, he's going to go for the first big guy.
All they did was call the foul on Brokowski. No other damage there.
Mahorn, 79% foul.
Go. There it is. We see Mahorn grabbing at the shirt. AC Green retaliating. Did not lie. There's a shot now. There's a good move by Mahorn as he steps out. He pops.
That's his first points of the game.
Look out. Look out. Here we have right to your left of your screen. Now watch it. There's words. AC.
3-on-2 fast break in Mahorn. No easy layups. And I think Michael Cooper sent that message on that foray.
Well, I like what Michael Cooper said yesterday, and that is that the foul.
What a surprise. Campbell fouls Dumas.
Yo, watch a fight. Mahorn and Cooper down on the baseline. Oh, to David Rivers. Now here we have the action. There it is right there.
No, Mahorn grabbed his shorts. Mahorn grabbed his shorts.
Well, the one thing about Cooper is he's not going to back off of any player in the league. He'll go right in there. UB Evans doing an excellent. Rick Mahorn. Oh, yes.
Mahorn knocked Cooper down. They're going to call him for it.
Watch out. Watch out.
If punches are thrown, it's automatic ejection. Just remember that.
So you'll see on the left side of the screen, he knocked Cooper to the ground. Now AC Green has his hands on him, but words are spoken right here between Cooper and Mahorn. As we can say, if Cooper should go there, they're both, happened first. Worthy took that left hand and tried to move Mahorn out of there. Well, Mahorn's not going to give any ground. He's in there to play defense and to rebound. And
Isaiah gets it back, and Mahorn and Sigma.
About every other night. See the elbow?
You bet.
Yep, and then Jack but this man is in a fight all the time for a reason. It's because he does stuff like that. If the officials see that, if they see that, that is a